What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the vlog. I am here in the Outer Banks in North Carolina. There's a hurricane going on down south and it's going to be pushing up storms to the north. So this is probably my one and only clear night during this new moon in July. So I'm trying to make the best of it. I drove about 8 hours just to get here for one shot tonight, and then I have to drive back tomorrow. Sorry, it's a little windy. I'm trying to stay low so I can kind of get concealed from the wind so it's not breaking up too bad with the microphone. So hopefully it's recording okay. But the goal tonight is to photograph a Milky Way time lapse from this spot right here. This is the composition that's on the back of my van, so you might recognize it. And I don't think I have a time lapse from this location. I definitely have some still images from here, but I really wanted a time lapse, so that's what we're going to be doing with my Z7 and the 20mm 1.8S lens. And then we're going to be testing out the Move Shoot Move V and Z mount by Alan Wallace. They've sent me those mounts just to play around with. So what I like about this spot right here is I have a nice opening, so I can do a Milky Way panorama and just, you know, keep an eye on my time lapse camera while I'm playing around with some tracked images of the Milky Way. Again, I apologize for the wind. If it breaks up, I'll just have to dub over this. Let me just get a little bit lower. It is pretty windy right now. I think it's going to die down, and the wind kind of is good and bad because the wind will help keep the mosquitoes off of me, but it also is bad if it's too windy and there's a lot of motion blur here in the foreground when I do the time lapse. It might look kind of cool, but I'm not sure yet how I feel about it. I prefer a little, you know, less motion, I think, when I'm doing these longer exposures. But I also did bring like a full body mosquito net in case the mosquitoes are really bad. I'll show you guys when I go back to the van. So let's start heading back there now, and I'll show you what I'm working with tonight. All right, the sun is starting to set. I'm starting to go through the gear and get that all ready. I'm going to be using my Ioptron star tracker right here, and right now I have the Move Shoot Move, the V mount by Alan Wallace on here that I'm going to be testing out, because if you ever try to do a panorama on a star tracker, it gets a little tricky to make it nice and level and even, and when you go to stitch it together, sometimes it doesn't work out or it comes out kind of cockeyed. So hopefully this will help keep that level when I go to do my tracked Milky Way panorama. So we're going to test that out. I also have the Z, but I don't think I'm going to need to use this one tonight. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll do a review on it, or maybe I'll just kind of include it in this vlog at the end of it. I also think I might try and do a selfie shot on that boardwalk with the lighthouse in the background, and I'll be using my mag mod with this Godox light. I was having some issues with my pocket wizard, so that's why I picked up the X1T by Godox and one of their lights. And so far from the test I did, seemed to work pretty well. What else I got going on for you guys? And lastly, when you come to North Carolina, don't forget your bug spray. But if that doesn't work, pick up some netting. I'm telling you right now, I've been here where bug spray didn't work and the mosquitoes were so bad they were biting through my clothing. So when I came back the following time, I brought this mosquito netting. It basically has a headpiece that goes over your face, and then it also has an upper torso that'll cover your arms. I did have my hands get torn up because I didn't have anything protecting my hands, so this time I also brought some gloves just in case. It does get a little hot underneath this, but I'd rather be a little hot than getting torn up by mosquitoes all night. Hopefully it's a little windy and it kind of keeps the mosquitoes at bay. We'll see. But yeah, I highly recommend getting some type of mosquito netting just because they could get really nasty in North Carolina. All right, I'm gonna get my gear ready to go, and I'll see you guys back over at the location. All right, it's still a little windy, so I'm gonna get low, so hopefully it's not, you know, messing up the microphone too much. But I have my Nikon Z7 with the 14-24 right here, and I plan on doing a selfie shot with me holding a light. Right, I'll probably stand somewhere right in this area. Hopefully I'm not blocking too much of the lighthouse by standing there. I tried to make my tripod pretty high for that shot. And then I'm gonna actually lower this and put the Z6 on there with the 20mm lens. And that I wanna lower angles shooting up, since the 20mm is punched in a little bit more. And I wanna try and get a lot more of the sky, but also include this foreground. So I'm gonna keep it a lot lower when I do that time lapse. And then put the Z7 onto the star tracker. Probably do it somewhere in this area right here. I'll show you guys. It's a little bit more open up here. So from this corner, I'm gonna set up the star tracker, and I should be getting the Milky Way from right about here, arcing over here. Nice unobstructed view. That's why I picked this spot, and should hopefully work out nicely. And then I might take a panorama shot from the parking lot of the lighthouse and then composite the two images. I'm not sure yet. It's a little tricky compositing a lighthouse just because of the light. So trying to artificially fix that light when you kind of mess it up and replace the sky, it's a little bit of work. So maybe I'll go into detail on how to do that. All right, so it's astronomical twilight, and I'm doing some long exposures of my foreground. I already did some selfie shots, so I'm gonna blend that with a tracked Milky Way shot later. It's gonna be, like I said earlier, it's a little tricky to blend a tracked sky with a lighthouse. So typically I like to just do stacked images, like using Sequator or Starry Landscape Stacker when doing Milky Way shots. It just makes life a little bit easier, so you don't have to deal with the light from the lighthouse and trying to blend it with a tracked image. But because I'm going to be doing a time lapse later in this spot, I don't want any flash going off, so I had to do my flash foreground shots right now with some longer exposure shots to blend it with. So that's why I'm doing everything right now. I still could kind of feel them bite occasionally through some areas of this netted vest. So I might have to put a long sleeve shirt on. I'm just trying to buy some time because it is still a little hot out right now and humid. So I don't really want to put on extra layers if I could avoid it, because I'm already sweating my butt off. But it is what it is. That is the life of a night photographer. Sometimes you have to suck it up and deal with the bugs, the insects, the snakes, whatever it might be. This is what we go through. And this is why I do these vlogs, so people kind of have a better understanding of what this type of work entails. It's not always glamorous as the pictures seem to be. All right, I'm gonna switch out cameras so I can get that ready for a time lapse, and then I gotta go set up the star tracker right now. I might record a little bit later if I can with the Z7, because it's just gonna be too dark for the GoPro, but we'll see how it goes.